What if I told you this one painting can improve every landscape you paint? Let's start with white on the palette and let's mix in some orange. Let's take in the angular brush and come onto the canvas and drop in that beautiful, beautiful little sky. Look at that. That soft orange color helping you to get a contrast to the sky. And let's drop that same color in the reflection in the water. You can take your own time at your place. And let's add in some more white to that orange color. And look at that. That beautiful, soft orange color in the reflection. Let's put that same color on the path, the puddles on that path, and this will add interest to your painting. And let's come over here, soften that color. I've added just a tinge of lemon yellow. You can make that out, and I'm spreading it on the sky. You've seen the thumbnail, the top part of the sky is blue. So let's have in some purplish shade in the sky so that there is no green happening in the sky when the yellow and the blue mix. Now let's go with some blue on that same brush and that'll help us not to get green. The purple is helping us there. See that? And let's spread that all the way till there. And now we'll go with the mountains, background mountains. It's a purplish shade. The reason I'm using that purplish shade is because that's below the sunlight, and whatever is below the sunlight will be warm, will not be dark. And on the right side, you can see I'm sort of darkening it. It's going towards the brownish side if you observe. Look at that. If you observe carefully, that's a violet, more of a violet color, but that looks purple. And now we'll take in the number two fan brush and let's sort of place in the grass. Let's block in that and let's spread all the way across there. Now let's switch gears and paint in the path. For that, I've taken in some white, just a touch of orange, just a touch. I repeat, it's a touch, and just some black. Main intention is to get a warm gray color, not too dark, not too light. Let's go ahead and create some contrast in the grass by using the number 2 fan brush. I've loaded just the right amount of black, not too much. The brush is not loaded too much with paint. This is black. And let's come here and get in the contrast even more. This time I've taken more of black and let's sort of spread it all the way till there. So this technique helps us to get texture, which is very important because this is almost in the foreground if you're noticing, and this is very close to the path. So we have to ensure everything fits together. This is the way we go ahead and fix it. Coming to the path, I've taken in some black, very little black. And the advantage of using a hoghead brush like this is that it holds little paint and it has a lot of gaps in bristles. There no two bristles will stick to each other, majority of them, at least 90% of the time. So you can use this brush to get texture. And let's sort of go with some more black. I'm doing this extra detailing, extra textures only to the foreground part of the road. And in the midground part of the path, let's add in some more textures and make it even more interesting. Look at that. A key point here is that pressure matters the most. You have to apply very little pressure. Don't want to tap too hard. I'm tapping hard here because I know there is very little amount of paint on the brush and that'll create beautiful textures. For the foreground, we always use more paint and the foreground is the darkest. And let's come to the foreground grass on the path. And look at that, I've added more of yellow color. It's more of olive green. So by now, we've completed whatever has to be on the ground. Let's focus on the tree right over here. Let's have in the tree trunk. A beautiful tree trunk here. And let's add in some twigs and branches. And for that, I've taken the rigger brush. You can even use the script liner brush, but that would be too early. I'd suggest you to use a rigger brush so you'll relatively get thicker strokes compared to the script liner brush. And let's sort of switch gears to this one right about in here and get in the boundary between land and water. Let's come here to the foreground and drop in the beautiful highlights on the grass on the road. Look at that, so beautiful. And let's come with that same paint on that same number 2 fan brush and let's have in some highlights on the grass which is there up just above the path in the painting. You've got to apply very little pressure to get more texture in this technique, so use a fan brush. I would suggest you not to use a synthetic brush. And let's come over here and increase the contrast. It's your painting and you have to increase your contrast. Contrast adds depth in your landscape paintings and that is what you want. That is going to contribute to the realisticness of your painting. So you can apply this to any of your landscape paintings by applying some yellow, some warmth. This is an evening sunset, so you have to apply some warmth. And the difference between a sunset and a sunrise is that sunset appears to be warmer, whereas a sunrise painting would be much brighter and it will not be as warm as the sunset. So that's the difference. And here we're going to take advantage of that fact and let's add in some lightness around the clouds in the sky. And that is the way we do it. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. All you have to do is master the brush strokes as I'm showing you here. Just get through with the brush strokes and you can paint any landscape with this technique, almost all landscapes. And that is the effective method I've learned over the years. And let's sort of come right over here and place in some darkness right over there, because just now I removed some brightness by adding in some more lemon yellow, and that is the reason this will get darker automatically. If you want this to be light, the sky has to be light, and the elements just below the sun rays or the sunlight or the source of sunlight will be warmer, will be reddish usually, or might be orangish. And let's sort of get in a tree here to get some interest, because you don't want your paintings to look bland, you don't want your paintings to look flat, you want to make your paintings more interesting. So let's increase the interest by adding in some subject. Look at that. If your grass is not interesting, you can add some highlights, you can add some textures. But if the subject itself is not interesting, you can add these trees and you can add in more elements. Not to make it too busy, never make it too busy unwantedly, but you have to add in some elements to make it filled, to bring in some weightage to your painting, and you have to add in some more depth. And also keep in mind your painting has to be realistic. Yes, that's totally left up to you. So I'm using the same technique here which I used with the tree on the right, except that the twigs, branches and the tree trunk are a bit smaller. That's it. In this occasion you can use the script liner brush. The script liner brush is much thinner compared to the rigger brush, so you can actually get thicker strokes using the rigger brush. And look at that, I'm using a script liner brush, an old one. Why I'm emphasizing that it's old? Because the bristles will be opened, and a liner brush should not have opened bristles to get thin strokes. So you can use a new one. Having old script liner brushes, don't worry about it. You can add in some water or some linseed oil if you're painting in oils. So I hope with this tutorial you've got some knowledge of painting landscapes and making it more interesting. Thank you so much for being till the end.